Is it 20?
30.
Something like it's enough.
27, 28.
It's enough where you end up hating him to love him again. And hating him to love him again. Because it's not always about loving what you do. Sometimes you're going to hate it, and then the true love is you come back to what you hate and you stick at it. You're not just going to like love something forever and hate it once and then give up. So that's how it is with all these moves. And this is just a wrist lock, and then you're going to do this for all the moves. You know, you're going to do this for the Kimura. You can do it, and you're going to decide what you like. I always say, you know, study jiu-jitsu at home, at least an hour a day. Because your body can only handle so much, but your brain, come on. And how do you study? You just pick a move. Like, I like to study what I just got tapped out in. So example, if I get tapped in something, like Kimura, I'll just look up like Kimura defense. I'll ask coach, do private with coach on that. But most people go into like a black hole, like, they'll tell me I got tapped out, and like, what'd you get tapped out? I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right. I bet you get tapped out again in it. So you go into a black hole. You ask, what'd you get tapped out? And you say, okay, armbar. Guess what? That's what you should be studying. You know, armbar defense, and try to figure out what your flaws are, because you're probably getting tapped out on the same move all the time. And you study, and that's your defense right there. And then you can ask coach, like, coach, who should I study? He'll tell you people. And it's the difference between when I was training and now is you have all this stuff. You can just go online and just study Wristlocks right now. Go home and study Wristlocks. But then you might be getting bad information as well. So you have to be able to differentiate, okay, this one wouldn't work. But then look at it and say, why isn't it gonna work? You know, and then so you can use bad information for good information. And say, oh, this technique's terrible. And you think, why? Oh, the elbow can escape right there. Okay, cool. Or you can just get my Fanatics videos, and I don't have that many bad ones on there. Sure, there'll be a few of them, but most of them will probably work. And let's do a Q&A for a little bit. Okay, time. Let's make a circle. Breathe. Now we'll do the Q&As for a little bit. You guys gotta have some questions, whether it's on today. I would just stick on like today or something or whatever, but let's keep it on Wristlocks, no politics. I'm happy. Everything's going well for all of us. And we live in a great country. And whatever religion you are, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff because I think we're all from a good place. We're going to a better place, or who knows. But today's about Wristlocks. All right, so any questions you have in Wristlocks? Anything like, well, yes?
Hi, yes. What is your highest probability wrist lock? Like, what do you land the most, you think?
Oh, from the side control? Wow, one of those ones when they're pushing you away. So I like to smash people down sometimes. So I smash their head down, and what are they gonna do? Once you put pressure, you have to put friction on someone's head, whether it's just holding it or whatever. But if I'm not doing that, they're not gonna try and push you away. Like if I'm being all gentle, I'll just run north-south and play games. But if I want to get a reaction where they're going to push on me, what am I going to do? You know, old school, just take your shoulder, put it right in their face, or put your chest on their head, and what are they going to do? They say, get off me. Jeff Glover, my good friend, has a video called Get Off Me, Fool. I'm the fool. You know? So it's a good video. And then they're going to push you away, and then poof, that's a high one. Another good one is from the feet when they grab, when you're trying to shoot in a lot all the time, and they're going to be like trying to keep you away. That's another good one. Those are probably the two highest percentage ones. From the triangle choke is great. Okay, I showed that one at Tyra Tolo. He hit it in one fighting championship, thank me. Wrist locks from there too. From the arm bars, from any submission that you're good at, your wrist lock is probably, you can add it to any submission. So example, my friends are good at the darts. Let me use you for a second. So I've developed, you know, and I've developed a wrist lock in pretty much every position. So like a darts over here, I'm shooting it in, not working. So I got right into a wrist lock. I'm going for that darts over here. I'm going for this, yeah. And what do I got right there? Okay. What I was saying with her is when I'm over here, I like to do like this. I'm putting all my weight on. Yeah. Now I'm gonna get it. That's gonna be the best one. Is I'm over here, I open it up, boom. But it's gonna start from having them like this. Yeah. Okay, that's probably one of my favorite ones. The other favorite one lately, from the knee cut. Instead of even if I try pulling it up, action, reaction, boom. From the 50-50, I mean 50-50. I grab the knee and catch it right there. That one's working well too. Okay, so anytime you can surprise the person. My favorite position is the mount. So I'm always doing this type of stuff. Yeah, the guy's done right there. So those are some of my favorite ones. So I don't help people. You gotta be able to get up. We do jitsu. If you can't get up. I've had a lot of people, I try to grab their hand, and then they pull their hand away. So I figure you gotta be able to get up. Ah! Okay, so more questions. Hit me up. I know Jason, thank you so much. You give me a lot of support.
Oh,
I didn't make it out to you guys last time.
What's up, man?
I'll be honest with you, I live all the way on the West Coast. I get scared going all the way across. I'm just like, whoa, that's a far away. But I made it this time. And I know you got the chokes and subs, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys know his Instagram is really cool. He helps me out a lot too. Any questions? What do we got? Yes.
It's kind of a two-part question, but are these legal in something like Naga or grapple industry?
Okay, so
and
chokes, I think white belts are illegal.
Yeah.
But this is all a lack of knowledge. Example. How is a wrist lock more dangerous than a choke? Let's think about that for a second. So I'm a kid in the schoolyard, whatever, I wrist lock someone. Okay, people start laughing. Now I'm on the schoolyard. Now I'm choking another kid. How many people are laughing? But the choke is legal. The question is, who makes the rules? Probably the guys that don't train wrist locks. You know, they probably don't teach wrist locks at their school. But to me, a wrist lock is less dangerous than a kimura. A kimura is way, like, dude, if someone rips a kimura behind you, it's gonna hurt a lot more than this. You have to know how to control your positions. And as far as the rules go, you gotta check it over. When you're a white belt, most things you probably gotta check twice. I think most of them are illegal, but it's like leg locks. Alex not a black. What belt do you know, Alex?
Brown.
Brown belt. But he's been doing leg locks since when? Blue? White belt. So it's just saying. It's kind of like drinking. It's illegal to drink at 21. But my dad lives in Greece. They've given us like alcohol when we're kids just to play around or whatever. Not too much to get drunk, but just so when you turn 21, you don't go crazy. So it's kind of like with this stuff. Maybe just because they're illegal in a tournament, you should still study them. So when they do become legal, you don't get surprised. But yeah, tournaments, you got to follow the rules. I'm a rules person. And if you go for a wrist lock, you'll probably be on a highlight or something. I don't know. It all depends what you want to do. Like if the guy's grabbing you like this and you do this one and twirl around and wrist lock him, you get disqualified. Then you get a million hits. I don't know. It's like the COVID vaccine. Now they're saying it's bad for you. Then they said it's good. Maybe one day they say, we don't understand how we ever banned wrist locks. I don't know. Yeah, check the rules. You might get disqualified. But a lot of the refs are tired. And they might not even see it. I mean, you gotta know, you ref, like I ref, you're out there 7-8 hours. Your eyes are bleeding. You might want to just see a wrist lock. It might wake you up. Sometimes you're out there and you're just watching these matches and you're like, oh my God. And you see someone get wrist lock, whoa, that was cool. You wake up, ready to ref more. Yeah, be careful. I don't want to hurt no one. Yes.
Wristlock defense, sir.
Make a fist. Use the upas. Don't let people dominate. Okay, so you got to look at any defense. what was I saying about doing a wrist lock? I'm trying to dominate your what? Your elbow. Okay, so bam. When your elbow's blocked, get out. Yeah, like I'm over here, I'm moving my hips. I'm over here, no way. Oh no, you gotta be able to move that. Anytime a guy's like locking my elbow in, it's kind of like getting my knee line. Uh-oh. You better get out of there, because it's coming. It's the same thing. Like, you let Alex over here grip on your knee line or your hip, it's already gonna be too late. So you have to know. It's kind of like any of this stuff. What are they trying to do in an armbar? I'll teach you any defense right now. Look, in an armbar, what are they trying to do to you? They're trying to what?
Isolate.
Yeah, isolate, extend my arm. So they're doing extension. What do I want to do to defend? I want to do retraction, you know? Or I could do like some Glover stuff where I twist the other way, you know? Glover's always getting out like that. A normal person getting out like this, he's getting out like this. It's the limp. You know, so you got to be able to get out that way too. You got to be able to and those are your two types of ways. And so, like, what are they trying to do in a choke? They're trying to block off your carotid arteries. So if you don't want to get choked, what are you trying to do? Defend your carotid arteries. So that's any of this stuff. With an ankle lock, what's he trying to do? Bend it, you know? So what are you trying to do? Straighten it. You know, with a heel hook, he's trying to go this way. What are you trying to do? This way. So you're pretty much, most of them are just trying to do the opposite. Or you can have some ones where you do the big surprise, like a Jeff Glover, where instead of pushing away, you're just like giving your back and coming around with a guillotine. All right? And that goes with anything. So if I'm trying to bend it this way, I want to make a fist. You know? But you just don't want to stay here fighting someone like that. Then you got to move. And that's anything. So, example, with a choke, you got to look at what's he trying to do. And if I can't get the wrist lock, I'm going immediately for the choke, for the neck. And if I can't get the neck, I'm going for the wrist. I'm always just going back and forth. And if I want to do a surprise, what do I do next? I go on the legs. So wrist, neck, wrist. Because look, once I attack the neck, what's the guy have to do? Once I start defending his wrist, once I start attacking his wrist, what's he going to do? Now I go back for the what? The neck. So you got to think, once I attack his wrist, what's he going to do? Now I go for the neck again. So I use them back and forth continuously, like rocking a baby. It's kind of like going Darce, guillotine, Darce, guillotine, Darce, guillotine. You have to be able to go back and forth from your favorite submissions. You can't just get stuck on one. Any submission you have, you got to be able to jump to another one and jump back. Like, what's a good one? For example, armbar triangle, triangle omoplata, you know, triangle, all that type of stuff. You got to be able to hit another submission off any of your favorite submissions. You got to be able to pop to another one. Does that make sense? And that's up to you. You can make it anything. Like a lot of people go, they go armbar triangle, but you can do triangle guillotine. You could lose your triangle sit-up guillotine, and no one's expecting those ones. Once you start throwing guillotines in, that pretty much changed the whole jiu-jitsu game. Because they guillotine people from everywhere. Any other questions? Hit me up.
Who on your list of training partners have you not got yet with a wrist lock?
No, they get me at this point.
You know,
Dude, I train in San Diego. Let me tell you, when I go relax, I'll go train like Jocko. Yeah, I'm really gonna relax, okay. And everyone wants a wrist lock me. Yeah, I go to Atos, train the comp class. I go to Surf Fight. I go Caden Tyler Tolo's house. Yeah. Dude, everyone's just trying to break me off. You're trying to wrist lock me. At this point, I'm getting a little bit older. The top guys, I could do well against. But I know when they're my age, when they're 46, they ain't gonna have it. I mean, you guys even know it. You guys have. How old are you now, Jason? You're 53. So you have big respect. So as you get a little bit older in your 40s, you gotta know to keep a little bit. You can't beat everyone. It's a never-ending battle. Man, there's so many people. At this point, like I just let them hold me down and wristlock me, okay? But I can still beat them, but yeah, I think everyone in the world can use these pretty much. I'm not here to wristlock everyone and beat them. I'm here to inspire people to do them. That's all. I went to Roger Gracie's gym a couple years ago, and as soon as I walked, he said, "Wristlock the world," and he had the guy mounted and wristlocked him. So that's meant I inspired him to do something. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here to prove it because I have a stupid broken neck. So it's like, all right, that's all. Yeah, I don't think I can wristlock. Alex over here, when I first started coming to Fanatics, it was like 6 years ago. I've seen his improvement, you know, just from working with that company. You probably see a lot of people on a lot of experience. And I see the guy's progression. I don't know you guys that long, but I know him, and I like to see the progression of people. Because you're not trying to be better than anyone but yourself. That's the true thing, you know? You can't compare yourself to anyone but who? Just yourself. Like there's no way yesterday you were better at wristlocks than you are today. It's impossible. That means I suck so much I should just go quit right now. You know, so that's all to inspire you guys. And if you ever wristlock someone and in a competition, whatever, be nice. You know, don't hurt them. I see some videos, man. People send me videos of them hurting people. I'm like, I delete them. So, just tell them, wristlock the world. Where'd you learn that? Pete the Greek. Woo! Or if you learn from coach, tell the truth. Be a truthful person and respectful, and that's what martial arts is about. And it'll help you in anything you do. You don't have to be a professional jiu-jitsu guy. Whatever, you're a fireman, you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, you're a super fireman. Or whatever, you're blue belt, you're white belt. You're a lawyer, become a super lawyer. Jiu-jitsu pretty much makes you better at anything you do. I don't know why, it just does. And I meet the best community in here. That's what I miss about having a school. So when I had my team, I had this guy, that guy knew how to do carpentry, that guy was a lawyer, this one knew how to do that. And the community is just something, you don't even realize what you have in a gym. And whether it's a wrist lock or whatever, people ask me, what's the best wrist lock? I tell them, wrist lock the guy's neck. That's it. What's he going to say then? You know, what's his answer to that? You know? Wristlock the world.